Welcome back to the next episode of Collaborating with Killers. I'm Nate, this is Jason, and this is Arioch the Magician.
How you doing?
We're going to introduce and interview. So,
I haven't killed anybody though, at least. So that's not why
Well,
I'm
that's
here.
good. Yeah.
This is part of our non-killer series.
yeah.
Yet.
But
Sometimes things go wrong. You do some risky stuff
Yeah.
on stage
I
and
brought you a
off
gift.
stage.
I brought you a gift because I knew you were into killers and stuff. So I'm sure some of the people you've seen have been in straitjackets.
Very
There's
cool.
me in a straitjacket.
Nice.
I didn't know what size you were, so I had like a large left.
That
and
works.
a
That's
medium.
fantastic.
And
Very cool.
This is my web show on handcuffs.
Off the cuff.
Yeah,
Okay, you got a web show?
Yep.
All right.
On
Very
YouTube,
cool.
you can just scan that and take it right
Excellent.
to it.
All right,
so
cool. Yeah, I'll put that.
Get that people
I'll
subscribe.
edit that into the
My
video
man.
so you guys can check it out and put a link down below.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's get started. How did you start doing this?
Start doing Well, the way I got started in magic, right? I was about 5 years old. And my brother brought home this book on Houdini, and he read it. He couldn't figure it out, so he threw it away. So I trash picked it, and I'm the youngest. So what I used to do was I loved it from the minute I read it. So I used to go and like
Houdini was awesome.
lock my sister in her room, and then, cause she was like older, she was like a tween, so she would go in and want her privacy and lock the door. I would unlock it, and she would think it was unlocked and relock it and like bash her head into the door. So that's what I would do. And then I would like
You
set
still
up.
do that trick.
Oh yeah, I do. Set
That's
I would
great.
set things up outside people's windows, using stuff I learned in magic. So like they'd look out the window and like a face would jump out at them and stuff like that. Basic hell raising as a child.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how I started.
So then, where did the career kick off? Where did you start getting gigs and?
It like right after college, I interned at MTV and then I got on MTV.
Oh, wild. Okay.
Yeah.
So what did you go to college for?
TV production.
Excellent.
I wanted to learn the other side of the camera before being on the front side.
Yeah. Okay.
So that.
And then
Nice.
at MTV, you did just anything really,
Yeah,
or like?
basically like. By the end, what I was doing was just entertaining the celebrity guests that they had come in the green room. They'd have like a band come in, and if there was a delay, they'd tell me to go down and show them some card tricks or whatever.
No way.
And then I'd be hanging out with the bands, and sometimes they'd want to go somewhere to a bar or something. I'd be like, no guys, we gotta hang here.
And this is
Coolest band.
what year?
We're like early 90s.
So
But it was
peak MTV.
really cool, yeah.
Peak
So there's not
MTV,
a
yeah.
band out there I haven't met or performed with.
Nice.
Oh,
That's
what's
right,
your favorite band that you met?
Yeah. Motley Crue was cool.
Okay. Hell
And
yeah.
Skid Row.
Yeah.
Nice.
I made Gene Simmons sick.
How so?
Yeah, I shoved a nail up my nose, and he said that's disgusting. That's the most
That's
disgusting thing
awesome.
I've ever seen.
That's great.
I did some card tricks for Joey Ramone.
Yeah.
He was really cool.
Very
You
cool.
know what I mean? Like,
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
No way.
and then I got to meet some, really amazing ladies back then.
Nice.
And cut them in half and do
Yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah. So.
Okay.
Nice.
So then, at what point did they end up? Because you were on MTV.
Yeah.
Like, what time? What kind of flipped the switch for them on that? They just liked it enough. They were like, let's get.
Well,
this
the
guy out
first
here.
time I did it, yeah, but when I actually tricked them into putting me on the first time because you weren't allowed to go in there and say, hey, I'm here to be a VJ,
Yeah.
right, or a host. They said right from the beginning, if you even try to get on air, we'll get rid of you. And of course that makes sense. It's just like
Yeah.
a TV shit station. If you go there thinking you're going to be an anchor
Everybody's
the
gonna
news,
expect it.
and they hire you as a gopher, or
Mhm.
something, you know what I mean? Don't go in there like all shiny trying to be,
Yeah.
what's his
Yeah.
name?
What's up?
What was his name? Ron, the Will Ferrell movie.
Oh, Ron Burgundy.
Yeah, don't go in there expecting to be Ron Burgundy and have
Yeah.
kiss your ass because it ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
So what I did was I knew that they had lunch at a certain time and it was like a lull. So I told the dude next to me, another intern, I said, at the next lull, turn to me and say, hey man, show me that trick that you showed me yesterday.
Yeah.
He had no idea what I was talking about. He's like, all right, I'll say it, because I never showed him anything. He had no clue what I was. So the lull comes, I elbow him, and he goes, hey man, show me that trick you showed me yesterday. So it's like all these board executives and tech people sitting around. So I pulled out a nail, and I proceeded to shove it up my nose. And it's 4 inches long. I should have brought one. You have a 4-inch nail? I can get one.
I got a paddle with nails on.
Yeah, one of them would work. Yeah. But
I
anyway.
do. I have one that was recovered from a murderer's property. If you want to shove that up your
Yeah,
nose.
that's fine. So, do we continue? Yeah, I think we can watch this later.
Yeah.
So I did the nail up the nose, and I ignored everyone else in the room. And the director was a guy visiting because he was directing a client of his. It was a guest VJ.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks at me and he goes, "Well, what the hell was that?" And I said, "Oh, it's just a trick I do. I'm a magician." He goes, "Why isn't this kid on the air?" Right? So he goes, "Next segment, kid, can you do that on TV?" And I was like, "Oh, well, I never thought of that, but okay." Right? What he didn't know was that I told my mom, I wrote up that morning press releases about being on TV.
Get out.
And I had my mom waiting by the phone, so I would call her when I got to go ahead, and she would hand deliver the newspapers and TV stations in my town.
Yeah.
Right? So, and I knew that the guy, when he turned to me and he goes, "Oh, wait, we can't put you on because I can't just have an intern come on and do a trick. There's got to be a reason." And I said, "Yeah, boy, it's a shame this isn't going to air on Halloween or on April 6th because that's Houdini's birthday." And I knew damn well that we shot 3 days ahead, and it was going to air on Houdini's birthday. He
Nice.
went, "That's perfect."
Oh,
he goes,
that's
"So
great.
get out there, you know." So I made him think the whole thing was his idea, and I had it set up from the beginning to the point
That's
of
the trick.
pre-writing up press releases
Yeah.
in Philly.
Killer.
You know what I mean? So this is in Manhattan. These press releases are in Philly, and my mom waiting to go. So I get out there and I do the nail to it. I even dressed extra nice that day, and they loved it. And I get home and I call my mom. I said, "It's a go." So she went and delivered all these things. So before this thing aired in my hometown, it was in the newspapers.
Nice.
Like local,
Nice.
and I brought a copy for you. It says
Very
local
cool.
magician who appear on MTV. You know.
Yeah.
So I set the whole damn thing up, and then people started calling in and saying, "Who was that maniac? And can we get him back?" So then they asked me to come back for the heavy metal show, of course, because I'm a metal magician.
Yeah.
And then boom, one thing, and then somebody else saw it, and then they
Nice.
knew it. Yeah, and it just steamrolled. And I was supposed to be the host of Headbangers Ball, but that's another story.
Oh,
man,
left a
shit.
bitter taste in my mouth.
Yeah. That would have been wild. We probably wouldn't be sitting here with you.
No, you definitely would not. You would be in my mansion somewhere.
Yeah,
Alright, so
yeah.
where is this from?
This is
God,
from,
am I gonna get tetanus from this damn thing?
You might. It's from the Killer Todd Colehep's murder container.
Murder container?
Yeah, he used to have hostages in there and
Okay.
a bunch of dead people and
Alright.
yeah.
Alright, well this
We're
is
gonna do an episode about him.
okay,
soon.
this is a first.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Like 4 inches long, right? It's about 4
Yeah.
inches.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like a 16 penny, right? Okay, you in the carpentry, you know all that shit.
Yeah,
Whatever. Well, anyway, it's a solid steel. I didn't set this up or prearranged. I've never touched this thing before. That's not blood on there, is it?
It's,
I
I
hope
mean,
there's no DNA on there. Well, anyway.
I don't know,
Okay.
man.
Well,
No promises. We might be cursed after this.
All right. You know, can they see it? Yeah, it's disgusting. But you know, in
The worst shit that happened to it was after it got to my house.
I don't want to know.
And that's not blood.
You didn't pop a hemorrhoid with this or nothing, did you? Like,
Dude, you are psychic. Okay.
oh, shit.
Anyway.
All right, I'll get a tetanus shot later. Well, how I learned this was I used to take karate in high school, and one of my teachers told me about this thing they used to do in Japan, like breaking boards.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but it sounded much cooler. It's kind of like in America, they've got these sideshow feats that swallow swords.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Japanese do things a bit different, and that's why it was called the ancient Japanese nail mystery. Okay, 4 inches of solid steel. Okay. I can't believe I'm about to do this. All right, here we go. I haven't done this in a while. Okay, let me just stop it. Remind you, don't try this at home. One slip it, it's instant lobotomy. Here we go, 4 inches straight in like that. Now,
Ugh.
I have an x-ray of my head with nails. This girl I knew was an x-ray tech, and she agreed to take an x-ray of my head, and I had it. And the doctor was walking by, and he was like, "Oh my God, get him into the OR right away." I was like, "No, it's me.
Yeah.
I like walking through metal detector. You know, to see when you're trying to get on planes and the TSA. It's awesome. All right, well, let's try and pull it out and not snag it on anything.
Yeah.
What am I tasting? No, just kidding. Here we go. And again, you can examine it if you want.
Oh, very
A lot of
cool.
people don't want to touch my snot.
Yeah. Makes me wish
Very
we had a bigger
cool.
budget. We could
Yeah.
have more cameras for that.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, very cool.
Frame it.
I'll have to let Todd know about it. It's actually going in my friend's oddity museum. So now it'll be the murder. It'll be the murder nail that went up Arioch's nose.
I've never been. It's
Todd
better
gets to
than
stab somebody even after while he's in jail.
better than a star in the Walk of Fame, right? I'll be inside of these museum where I belong.
It might even just stick to the wall like
I
this.
could.
That was awesome.
Something smell
And
fishy.
And that made Gene Simmons sick?
Yeah, it beats a hell out
You
of
didn't like
card
it,
tricks,
huh?
right?
Yeah.
I guess because it was like up close and personal. You know?
I would think the dude from
Look, you
I
could
know,
weird
stronger
yourself out if
stomach.
you play it through as going wrong. Like, what if you
Oh, I've
just
done that. Yeah,
and like
the dude that I learned that with,
by fate.
Weatherby, right? His dad used to do it in the 50s, and what he would do is he had a white towel on stage, and the guy was like in his 80s, right?
Yeah.
So he would be like at a mall with a million kids around, and he would do the nail up the nose, and then he would sneeze into this towel, and he had a blood pack in the towel. A massive blood pack. So he would sneeze, and it would just be like a half gallon going everywhere, and the kids would just start screaming and run for the exits. It's
Awesome.
brilliant.
You get in
That's
trouble
awesome.
doing that nowadays, I
Ah,
feel
man.
like.
Yeah, but especially like a little old man doing it, and then he would go
That's
and try and do his next trick and go, "I feel a little woozy," you know, and he'd like drop a deck of cards and then just flop over.
Oh, yeah. Scar the children.
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds some like jackass stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this guy is, you know,
Cool.
So what?
shopping malls, man.
So what? So you know, nail in his nose, cutting people in half. What else? What other kind of things were you doing?
All kinds.
And are you still doing it?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
That's a
yeah.
horrible thing to say.
Yes, I've gotten
Yeah.
to see him a few times.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he's
Stage
okay,
with this
Okay, I
guy.
just you sent me
You
the
actually
picture.
would have been later if you could have stayed later.
Oh, at the show.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Which one? The Rock and Roll. Yeah, and we
Yeah.
were at the place in Lebanon too.
Yeah, yep,
We've been there a couple
church.
times.
Yeah.
So yeah, what?
Specialized in escapes when I started because they were just an adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
Like hanging upside down in a straitjacket and jumping in the rivers with handcuffs and stuff like that.
Houdini shit.
Yeah, it was just
Wild.
awesome.
Yeah.
And but I was interested in all the different everything from mind reading to the close-up card stuff. So
Mhm.
I figured the more I could
Yeah.
do in different fields, the more opportunities I'd get hired places.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I saw in your scrapbook you was something like you predicted headlines or
Yep,
something.
yeah.
What
I
ki-
do a prediction. Like if I get hired by say somebody hires me for a office party, New Year's around then or whatever, the
Yeah.
holidays or whatever. What I do sometimes is I'll mail the guy that hires me, the person that's in charge, a prediction that they can't open until that day.
Mm-hmm.
And they're told to seal it in their safe or wherever where nobody can touch it, especially me. Sign it, they date it, they do all that. And then when I show up on that day, it's either the day's newspaper, and when they open up the sealed envelope they've had for 3 weeks, it matches with luck. Or, you know, a card somebody chose or a name somebody thought of or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, so I'll involve the corporate people.
Yeah. So what? How do you train for something like this?
It just, well, I have a huge library of like I'm up to like 4,000 books, I think. So
Nice.
I get a lot of my stuff from books that have been out of print for so long,
Mhm.
and it's not,
Yeah.
they're not even on the internet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, because every magician has somebody, a little snotty kid in the crowd going, I'm a hand in, even like Big Bang Theory had an
Yeah,
episode where
yeah.
he goes, I just Googled it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And shit like that, and it's like, come on, you little bastard. But anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah, man, you little. Why don't you look at Pornhub like other kids your age? You know what I mean, right? So like a lot of the stuff I do, I got from books from like the 1800s,
Wow.
and it's not online. Nobody put it on, but I'll add a modern twist to it.
Yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I mean?
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
So that's how I got in one of the magic clubs I joined. You had to show a trick, and I found one in a book from, it was like 1910 or something. And then all the other guys thought it was something I invented brand new, and I was like, no. And I brought the book along. I was like, hey, you can still find cool stuff in book. You have to read, kids. You know?
Yeah. Lost art, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gotta be annoying. Little kids googling.
And also, if you do enough drugs, you can come up with some weird shit to do too. So
Psychedelics will help, man.
Yeah.
Did you ever find yourself in a scenario where you're doing an escape and you're like, oh no?
Yeah. One
My
really
weirdest
a lot of times, but the worst was I did this tour of summer camps throughout. Like it was from like South Jersey to the Poconos in New York State and all. Summer camps are all different ages and stuff. And if they had a pool or a pond or a lake or something like that for extra fee, I would do an underwater handcuff escape. Or like they'd row me out in a canoe and I would be handcuffed and shackled and jump in and try and get out before I ran out of breath, right? But I always asked them, I said, well, what? I have to know what the bottom is. I don't want to jump in and there'd be like broken bottles and shit. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, jump over here. That's where the wreck was,
Yeah.
Great.
A lot of gators in that spot.
Exactly.
Man.
You see a snake, don't worry about it. That kind
Most
of
of them are poisonous.
Yeah, and and then once in a while I got scared by the alligators. You'll be cool. So I always asked, and this one camp, the guy said, "Oh, it's just sand. It's a man-made lake, which is cool."
Yeah.
So I'm like, "Okay, cool." So I jump in, and I sunk up to my knees in muck and mud, and like rotting leaves, and I'm like 12 feet underwater. And I have leg irons on, so it creates a suction. So I'm like, and so what I did was I got out of the cuffs and I just slowly worked one leg up because I couldn't.
Yeah, you can't.
No, and I'm going like this, and I got the leg up, and then I got the other leg up, and did it flipped upside down and got out of the cuffs that way. And when I broke through the surface, I was under for like another extra minute and a half, and my safety guy was hauling ass, he was like at the water's edge, ready to jump in. And I went to the guy running the place. I said, "You told me that it was sand, man." It was like, and I told him what happened. He goes, "Oh yeah, I knew that. I just wanted to see if you were really any good." And I was like,
I'd kill him.
Hold me
Was there any exchange?
For that amount of money? No way. I was like, well, I am.
I would.
That was like the worst thing that ever happened.
And that was I was thinking, has anybody ever set you up on purpose? Like, I'm gonna get my money's worth out of this guy.
Like here, they can't see it on there. See that scar? I was doing a handcuff escape, and this retired cop, he goes, "I'll do it the way we used to do it when the guys were out getting out of line." And I'm like, "What?" Because I said anybody can bring up their own handcuffs, and after they searched me, I would escape from them. And he brought up his cuffs, and what he did was he pinched my skin and got them caught in the lock.
Yeah.
Where the ratchet teeth go.
That was nice.
And I was like, so I got.
You might have remembered you from before.
No, I never. This is like one of my first shows. So imagine like you ever get your hand caught in a vice or pinched and sometimes like that.
Yeah.
And the only way to get free was I had to rip some of my flesh, and I got out, and it was like blood all over the handcuffs. And I said, "Do you want them back now?" And he was like, "No, you can keep them." So I still have them in my collection.
Nice. Hell yeah.
He was just a dick move that he did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and I'm
people
like,
can really be dicks.
yeah, and like my
Or they'll
parents
think
are in the
something's funny.
crowd, and my parents see me come, blood pouring out of my freaking hand. Good thing it was
probably a capillary.
yeah, but like a little square chunk.
Yeah.
It's like imagine pinching with a pair of pliers and going like that.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So luckily, it was the last thing of the show.
Yeah.
So I was just able to take a bow and leave. You know what I mean?
Bleed off the
Yeah,
stage.
bleed off the stage. Yeah.
How long can you hold your breath?
Not as much as I used to. It was up to like 2 minutes or so back
Wow,
then.
yeah.
Which
That's
was-
about the furthest I
yeah.
get with breath work. The most I ever got was
Yeah.
215. It's like hard to get to 2.
Yeah.
But I'm still a beginner at it. So
Cause you gotta.
they say once after 2,
it's,
you trick your body
Yeah.
into thinking it's dying. It'll
It's
release
like
a bunch of
fasting.
DMT, and that's when you'll start really getting
Oh, I've heard a little
psychedelic
bit about that.
effects.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
I've
like,
heard about
and I can get to just about 2. So like, I'll see some cool shit, but like, I want to be able to hold it for 4 minutes and see what happens.
Wow.
You'll pass out.
Well, I think the like off topic here. There's a guy that just broke the diving record.
Yeah,
Some
he
guy
was
just
like
sitting at
20
the
some
bar-
minutes.
Yeah,
That's wild.
Yeah.
You can train your body
Yeah.
to.
It used to be 4
Working
minutes
on
and
it.
you were dead. Remember when it was
Oh,
4
like,
minutes?
Wim
And
Hof.
They would say you were brain dead, and they
Yeah.
wouldn't even try to revive
Yeah.
it. Now they're, it's like Captain America, man. You get frozen, they bring you back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Wim Hof will swim through ice water for hours and shit,
Yeah.
just using his breathing technique.
I'm reading a book right now about near-death experiences where there's been people that have been dead for like an hour or two.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, they talk about that on the one podcast I listened to. They had a breathing guy on there just now that grew up with a Wim Hof. Like he was talking about the shit I'm talking about, like why the effects of it and why you see shit. And
did you ever do Vegas?
No, I've never even been to Vegas.
Oh, really?
Me
Wow.
neither.
Because I figure you throw a rock up in the air, it's going to come down and hit a magician in the head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So why would I
Why
want to go
go? Just
where there's a billion,
yeah, it makes sense.
You know. We just, everybody undercuts. It's the same thing. I have a friend who lives in Florida, and he says what sucks down there is you have people going, say you get like a grand for a show. You have so many people that are saying, well, I'll do it for 500, and then it goes down. And now, shows that this dude used to do for like 250, like a half hour, private party, walking around doing close up.
Yeah.
Now they're like, well, somebody else said they do it for 75, and
Oh, yeah.
you only need to drive 4 hours round trip. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Lug a load of crap for no, thanks.
No, that seems to be a lot of artwork too. Like
Yeah.
I did graphics for a while, and that was pretty much what it was. It's like, hey man, like I'd like $1,000 for this project, and then someone 5 years younger than you trying
Yeah.
to get their feet wet. It's like, well, I'll do it for
And it turns out to be crap too.
Yeah,
at
yeah.
the time.
Turn it up
And
to
you're
crap.
like, that's why I get paid. Why I get paid? Because
Yeah.
I just need to get started getting paid.
What's the biggest show you ever did?
Live, you mean? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
Or either, whatever.
TV. I did a thing with Martha Quinn, Martha's Greatest Hits, and I had no idea that it had 3 million viewers in it aired.
Wow.
And that
Wow.
was the time I was a little inebriated on camera, I'll admit it, because it was our Christmas party, and I was told, no, you don't have to. First, be prepared to do something on MTV.
Yeah.
And I showed up, and then time, schedule, sometimes you get bumped.
Yeah.
It happens all the time, so enjoy yourself at the Christmas party. So I did. And then suddenly a spot opened up, and I was back on with her.
Yeah.
And I decided to do an experiment besides a trick where I wanted to see, this is back in the days of answering machines, okay?
Yeah.
So I gave up my home phone number.
Oh no.
Yeah. Right? And so, like within an hour, it was like 900 calls an hour. So it was ridiculous. And I can't believe you gave up your number, dude. Hanging up. And I had a lady who wanted to fly me out to Aspen for a weekend, and I didn't go. I got a lot of bookings out of it, so it worked that way. You know what I mean? People did call. I got an agent out of it. I got to do stuff in Philly. I did music. A 4th of July thing in Philly once, it was like 5,000.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh wow. Yeah.
And I opened the new Atlantic City Convention Center,
Okay.
and that reopened several years ago. I forget what that was like 4,000 or 5,000.
Back when Atlantic City was cool.
Nice.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that was live. And then it's funny because the Martha thing they reran over in Germany, apparently, because I was at a party years later, and there was a guy in the military. And he came in, and he was friends with somebody else in the bar. I never met the dude before.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes up, he's like, I know you from somewhere. And I'm like, I do not know him. And he's like, were you ever in Germany? I'm like, no. And then he goes, wait, you were on with Martha Green. He's like, yeah, they showed it over there like 3 months later or something. You know?
Yeah.
But now with podcasts and the internet, you can be seen forever.
Oh yeah.
You know, especially if you're naked. You know?
Yeah. We'll have to think about that next time.
That's why you can only see it from the waist up, folks, right? Waist up.
I don't
here.
feel like moving the tables out of the way right now.
Yeah.
You want to see? You want me to show you a
Episodes later.
trick or something? You want to see?
I mean, we already
You
saw
wanna bring
him
that
get
closer,
nailed.
though?
So yeah, what is it?
I'll
Something
do a
you would
close up
want
one. Yeah. You want to work?
Okay,
the
so yeah, I'm
camera?
gonna pause this feed here.
3 coins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another one.
And we can move it down a little bit.
Like that.
Yeah. Can you see the coins on the table? There we go. All right, that's perfect.
All right, so yeah, we'll start here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So this is really cool. Jason got 3 silver dollars, right?
Yep.
You know who's on there?
I don't have my glasses.
All right, it's Eisenhower. Don't worry, these are old. Nobody uses them anymore. And in keeping with the theme of old, I borrowed this handkerchief from my aunt because whenever I do this with a handkerchief, people say, I can't see what you're doing. So I got this one from her that you can see through. Okay, it's still cloth. Touch that.
Mhm.
Okay, that's cloth, right?
Yeah.
So like, it's solid and solid, right?
Mhm.
Boom. But you can see through it. That's why I use it. Okay, now we're just gonna use simple things. 3 coins, 1, 2, 3, and the handkerchief, right? Can you see? Good? Okay. 3 coins and a handkerchief. Now this is really neat because you can see the cloth goes all the way around. Feel the cloth. Yeah, feel cloth all the way around, right? Now you're gonna want to watch this. This is amazing. Cause watch. If you can zoom in a little bit, no? Here, watch. I just bounce them in my hand. Ready? And it looks like 1 coin melts through the handkerchief. Doesn't it? But look, those 2 are still in there. Touch them. There's still cloth around there, right?
What the fuck?
Right? Isn't that cool? There's no hole in there, right?
Wow.
Now every time I do that, somebody says, do that again. So I'll save you the trouble of asking. Right? Look, there's no hole in there, is there?
Yeah. No.
A solid handkerchief.
Yeah.
Okay? That's cloth. You can touch the cloth.
Yeah.
Okay, touch the cloth.
Yeah.
And this time we're just going to use the 2 coins. Okay?
Yeah.
2 coins and the cloth. That's all we're going to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this time we're going to, now the cloth's all the way around. Try to touch.
Yep.
Alright, you can see. Cloth all the way around. This time I'm going to have you just call it which one you want, top or bottom. Are you a top or a bottom, Jason?
Oh, bottom.
Of course, I figured. Alright, he's a bottom, watch. All we have to do is just pull it. And the one
Very cool.
comes out, that one's still in there.
Very cool.
Now 3 coins, 2 went through, let's do the last one. Okay, this one we're going to do so there's no question whatsoever. Okay, you can see the coin. You can see the coin, you can see the handkerchief, and you can see there's cloth all the way around. Touch, right? You can see it. Hang on, for the people in the cheap seats, there's the coin, okay, in the handkerchief, and we're going to wrap it. So there's no question.
Yeah.
That's cloth all the way around,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You can see?
Yeah.
See cloth all the way around. This one's going to be easy. I'm just going to snap my fingers. It's going to jump out. Watch. 1, 2. Crap. Almost. I'll tell you what. We'll just go like this. Just going to put it there. You can see the cloth, right? And we're just going to gently pull.
What?
So there's no hole
There we go.
in the handkerchief.
What the hell?
And the ends are all the way down there. Clean like right to go.
Nice.
Isn't that neat?
Very
And now I
cool.
can give it back to my aunt and I won't get in trouble. So that's what close-up magic is. Because people
Nice.
ask what close-up magic is, and it's stuff that happens right in front of you.
Instead of a guy on
Yeah,
stage.
I'm not
far
on the
away.
stage far away. I don't use camera tricks in any of my stuff because when I do things like on TV, if anyone ever says to me, hey, do that live during the show, I'll be able to do it. Now,
Nice.
some people,
Nice,
the
gotcha.
internet's really destroyed.
I need time to prepare for that trick. You get those guys.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
It
Like-
takes some preparation.
Yeah. And
Well-
there was a clown, the masked magician years ago, giving away magic.
Yeah, I remember
all
that.
that crap, right?
I remember that.
The funniest was he said that the way to float somebody from the audience, which I've done on stage and he's seen me do, where I had the girl suspended
Yeah,
or
yeah,
a skeleton sometimes.
Yeah.
His way of doing it was to rent a forklift, like the little cat forklifts that they have, in
So you hear
warehouses. And put the fork under the curtain or some crap, And the stages I've done that exact same illusion on, there's no backstage,
Right.
there's no curtain, there's
Right.
no room for a forklift, and why would I
Right.
fire a forklift,
So this guy was probably a
He was
novice
just-
too.
Yeah, well, he was a dude that
Started googling that.
he was he failed at magic. A lot of people that expose it fail at it,
Right.
and because they don't want to put the time. It's like it is an art form. It's like when you learn how to paint, you got to spend hours learning. You're an artist. You got to
Yep.
spend hours.
Especially if you want to learn new stuff
Yeah.
or different techniques. Yup.
Yeah, say you start wanting to work in charcoal or different.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's gonna take you so long before you get something that even looks like
Yeah.
a picture that you were able to do. In
With whatever
oils or
you've
whatever.
been doing for years.
Same thing
Yeah.
with this,
Yep. Yeah.
I'm good at cards, but if I want to learn
So,
something,
and
that's a whole.
start
And we're back.
Yep.
And we're back.
So
So then I put my clothes back on. Oh, we're back. Okay. Sorry.
yeah, I should be like, come
And
on.
then, yep.
Hey!
And I'll be like that.
And you got nailed twice.
Oh, there we go.
So no, I was asking before, like the difference between
Magic with
Magic.
a C and magic with a K.
yeah,
Basically.
pretty much, yeah.
Okay. Now,
Houdini
here's the
and
thing.
Crowley. And,
I'll put it to you this way: magic, with a K, is a lot very similar to religion with a
Okay.
small r, because it's basically created for people to understand things in the natural world that they don't understand. Where did that lightning come from? Oh, Thor threw a bolt down.
right.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
How did this happen? Oh, that's how it all started. I mean, we have there's actual Egyptian depictions of people doing the cups and balls trick. You know what I mean? It goes back to cave paintings of magicians. It goes back hand in hand. And if you could do something that the other folks around the campfire couldn't, well, then maybe you could also do some other stuff.
Yeah.
Like tell us how the crops are going to be.
What
You
if
know what I
you know
mean?
if the
Oh,
moon,
yeah.
the
Granny,
cycles
Granny's
of
a
the
little
moon.
sick. Maybe she, maybe you can like wave a stick over her, like you did when you waved it over that pebble and made that pebble vanish. You
Yeah.
know?
Okay. Yeah.
So a lot
this
of it
is-
goes in there, and there's been
Alright.
so much research. And I have, like I said, I have stuff on spiritualism going back to the very beginning, and books going back hundreds of years. And I mean, my newspaper collection is huge too. It's,
Very cool.
you know what I mean? I have like what phrenology is, reading the bumps on your head, and
Yeah.
they have that bust of the guy. I
Okay.
have the first magazines from the 1850s, the Phrenological Journal. So I
Okay.
have the cabinet card photos of the guy that created it, Fowler and his wife, hanging on my wall.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Like,
Cool.
so I got
Reminds me a little.
super cool.
He was talking about people that had the clicks
Yeah.
and they were reading minds back in
Yeah,
the day. But
yeah,
they
the
were
Fox
doing
sisters.
clicks. Yeah.
the Fox sisters, yeah.
I have the original newspapers where I bought a set of scrapbooks, and I'm trying to get them published. Somebody put together a set of scrapbooks where they cut out a newspaper article every day from 1888 to 1893.
Wow.
Anything that had to do with magic, spiritualism, the occult. There's mentions of this new murderer in London's. It turns out that's Jack
The Ripper, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? They didn't name him yet in
Yeah.
our newspapers.
Cool.
But I have the entire series when the Fox sisters confessed in New York City that they were all a fraud.
Wow.
I also have the transcripts of all of the Fox sisters' original, I was going to bring it too, original seances.
Yeah.
So every time that they talk to a spirit, from
Yeah.
1859, I think, to 1870 something. So
Yeah,
it's like a
yeah.
real thick book. I have now Houdini. He was a famous debunker of spiritualists because at the time they were worse than the mob is today, or organized crime. Let's
I was
say
just trying to take.
they
it.
had. They
Oh, this
had,
ties into the Ouija board.
Oh, they had-
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's why I was kind of bringing it
spiritualists
up.
had hit
yeah.
squads, and there is a
Really?
yeah, there's a new theory that Houdini was poisoned by them, and It holds a lot of water. I won't go into too many details, but there's a lot of things that happened to him in the week before he died. You know, I mean, he was performing for an entire week with a broken ankle and 104 fever, while his wife was already sick with food poisoning.
Yeah.
Then he got food poisoning. They got food poisoning at the same time, at the same meal.
Yeah.
And then 2 days later, he gets punched in the stomach by that nut job.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And a punch in the stomach will not burst your appendix.
Oh,
So-
is that what he died
That's what he
from?
died from.
Yeah, that's what they said.
Because there was no penicillin yet. Penicillin
Yeah.
hadn't been invented, and the doctors, they experimented with serums on him.
Okay.
I have all the.
Yeah, with all his crazy stunts,
Yeah.
it was just a wild way for him to go out, get punched
Yeah.
in the stomach.
And I
And people
can't
like,
find
"What's up?"
any reference to him challenging people to punch him in the stomach. In any newspaper interview, and I have most.
So somebody
I have
just
almost
walked up
everything-
there and
Yeah, and even
Huh.
magic historians from the day it happened said, "Oh yeah, he always used to challenge people to punch him in the stomach." I can't find this single thing. I have first editions of everything he ever wrote. I have almost every newspaper interview with him, magazines,
Yeah.
hundreds and hundreds. Not like
sounds
some
like this
guys.
could be a whole nother episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we could
Maybe
do a
next
whole
time
other
you come
thing.
around, we'll do
Yeah,
a
and I'll
Houdini
bring a bunch of the
episode.
stuff. I have like his death certificate copies.
Yeah, that would be
I have his
cool.
obituaries,
Yeah.
all that.
People
What a
are always
wild way to
interested in
assassinate
him.
someone. you
Well,
know?
the guy that killed him, that did punch him, like he was supposedly a student at this university, but they had no record of him. He was an avowed spiritualist, and he had a history of violence, and he was crazy. You know, he afterwards he
Sounds like
went
a
nuts,
guy
and he did
to
all
talk
kinds of
to.
stuff. Yeah.
A Rudiger.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Houdini is famous because he exposed the Scientific American magazine, which has been around since the 1850s and
Yeah.
still here today. They offered a reward for anyone who could prove that seances were real and that they could talk to the dead. And everyone got shot down. Houdini was on the committee to investigate them, and they were about to give it to this woman, Marjorie. Her real name was Mina Crandon. She was a much younger wife of one of the most respected surgeons in Boston. I've been to their house too. I have a picture of me in front.
Oh, cool.
So she was about to get the reward. She would do this thing at seances where she would strip naked and have the investigators feel her up to make sure she wasn't hiding anything, of course. And of course, some of the investigators
Not a
lived with her.
distraction.
Yeah.
While her husband was in another room.
Oh.
Yeah, and Houdini didn't fall for any of that crap.
Imagine
He exposed
that.
her right away.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, I have, his name was Dr. Crandon. I have the book about her that was his copy.
Yeah.
Because he signed it, Dr. Crandon.
Okay.
And I bought it off eBay, and I didn't know that it was autographed until I got it. And I was like, oh my God, it's got Dr. Crandon. Yeah.
Cool.
Well, here, this guy had a history of adopting war orphans from England, little boy war orphans.
Okay.
Okay, it was right after World
Like
War One.
orphaned by the war.
Orphaned by
Yeah,
the war.
okay.
There was millions of them.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
England lost what, 8 million soldiers,
Yeah.
whatever. So he had a history of adopting these kids who would later die under strange circumstances.
Oh, jeez.
Here, it turns out he was experimenting his surgical techniques on
Yeah.
those ladies.
Get out of here.
And
Yeah.
Arthur
Jesus,
Conan
that's
Doyle
right.
knew about it. And the spiritualists were working
Here's
with
another
him.
episode.
So if Houdini found out about this, and one of the most powerful, richest doctors in the country, who's in with an underworld organization, finds out about it, just think, they would kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
You know. I mean,
Boom.
how do you?
Yeah.
How do you even catch somebody back then?
Right.
Like
There
it-
was no
like
fingerprint.
Rita's
It's a lot
detective.
easier to get away
Nothing.
with shit,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
That's why
no
we're like,
fingerprints,
we
there's
think
no
like
DNA.
serial killer's a new thing.
We
They
never heard
just-
of
it's
DNA.
out- you can see it now. Like,
You can
people
see it
been
now.
doing shit like that forever. People getting their shits and giggles off of offing people. It wasn't
Yeah.
hard to find. It wasn't
Wasn't
me.
it?
Said it wasn't him.
Yeah.
What about
There's a
DNA?
dude at the Chicago the Columbian Exposition in
Oh,
1893.
H.H. Holmes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is he up here on the wall?
He's not. I have a lot of
Oh,
art of
there's
him.
Anton LaVey. There you go.
Yeah, and Crowley.
Yeah.
Both of them.
I have an article that Crowley wrote because he was like a theater critic before he went crazy.
Crowley was what? He was the guy in the 20s, right?
Yeah.
And he was what? He was.
Sex magic. Yeah.
Sex magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jimmy Page bought his house.
Yeah.
And what would he like?
He would just
describe a
have
little bit of that?
orgies, and he had syphilis.
Lots of drugs.
Lots
He
of
would
drugs.
claim he was talking to demons and
Yeah.
spirits and shit. He's the one that drew the picture that looks like a gray.
Yeah, he wrote
Yes.
a book 777.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of books.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
He's the one
yeah.
that said, "Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the
Yeah.
law."
I studied him this
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, but basically he was just banging chicks and getting free drugs and living off the fat of everybody and crashing
Because
people's
like
houses.
rich people were into him.
Oh
right?
yeah, and then
Yeah.
so he'd
The
be
Beatles were into him.
like, yeah. But even during his lifetime, like he would live rent free at people. Like he would just go to rich old ladies' house. To
He was
rich
like
old
eating
ladies'
poop and stuff too. He was doing some weird shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see all these beautiful girls, and then you find out you
Yeah.
read some of the books, and you're like vomit and shit,
Yeah.
and you're like,
Cool,
oh
man.
wow, good time.
Where'd that scab come
But
from?
there was lots of coke, so.
Yeah. There was
Yeah.
there was a recent movie, and he was a guest character in it. I can't remember what was it. The Magicians or guess.
That wasn't the Prestige, was it?
No, it was like Nightmare Alley, I think maybe.
Okay.
I'm not sure, but anyway, yeah, and he's just basically this fat slob laying on a couch, and
okay.
this other kid that wants to be a magician, or he thinks he is a magician, I think. For real, I can't remember the movie, but like this kid, it's like some young kid who suddenly discovers he has magical powers, and he meets Aleister Crowley, and Crowley is like impressed by him, and is like, well, if you really want to make money, start fucking, that kind of thing, or whatever.
Start eating food.
Yeah,
So, man, it's a lot of very similar
Recycle.
similar to LaVey, how LaVey was living. But
Yeah,
he just
yeah,
said there ain't nothing going on. He was a
LaVey
more
was-
straight atheist approach about it.
Well, LeVay was the Satanic Church.
He wrote the
right?
Satanic Bible, but like they do rituals and stuff, but he would say it's all for fun.
LaVey
Like, he
had-
was like an atheist. He's like, there is no God, there's no devil.
They had better merch.
But like people,
They had better merch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, you
basically.
call it as Satanists and stuff. Everybody's like went nuts with that, like
Yeah, because there's some
they're
Hollywood chicks that were
sacrificing
into it.
kids and
Yeah.
stuff, and
Yeah.
they went nuts.
Who was it?
Especially-
Was it Jane Mansfield that was in it?
Yeah,
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 she
yeah.
was like
Who was that?
Jane Mansfield.
Yeah, no.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, what's his name? The singer from the Rat Pack.
Sinatra or
No.
Sammy Davis Jr. Sammy
Yeah,
Davis Jr.
yeah,
was into him.
he was friends with LaVey and would go to the
Yeah.
ceremonies and stuff. A lot of
Weird.
Hollywood people would.
Yeah.
Because dude, now all they would do, they
So
weren't eating,
it was like the Scientology back then.
they weren't eating poop, so they were just like
Yeah.
doing orgies and drugs and
Yeah,
like,
they
well,
were
this is
just
cool.
tripping and listening to the Beatles. And
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they
Yeah.
were just partying.
Big-
watching,
Yeah.
laughing.
But
Yeah.
LaVey like grew up in the circus, so he knew exactly. He wanted to
Yeah.
like how to push the buttons of religious America,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
a lot of people were like, "Oh, cool."
And I mean,
Because
was
yeah,
those counterculture times?
Yeah,
so
Yeah.
people
He would have
Yeah.
like an altar, and then
a lot of hippies
a flash
would
of
be
fire would
hanging
go
out with
off.
the
He had a
Satanists,
flash
yeah.
spot hidden.
Oh, okay.
That kind of shit.
Oh,
like,
okay.
And now
You're on
Satan,
acid, and
whoosh,
you're like,
yeah.
oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He was in movies
Yeah,
where
when
he played the
I
devil.
performed for
and-
people on acid before.
What's that?
I've done magic for people on acid before.
Like
Nice.
you were on
So
acid?
did
They were on
Manson.
They were on it. Yeah.
They were on it.
I tripped on stage once.
Yeah, dude, like
I was
only
afraid
a
the
fan
strings
of-
were gonna
Give
jump
me string a
off.
deck of cards. I did that once, and I never got to do a card trick. They just wanted me to do that. Over.
That's
like half an hour. I'm like, again?
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
Well, like that blow. And I can see the face of every card frozen in midair, man. And I'm like,
There's times when I was on acid and I figured out how to do stuff I couldn't do when I was sober. You know what I mean? Whether it's computer or
Opening up the
anything.
neural pathways.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, that's how he did it.
Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah. I don't know. We got anything else? Or
are we gonna do another one on spiritualism too? I can do a spiritualist trick because Halloween's coming up.
Hell yeah.
I can do something that the spiritualist did. Where's my
There it is, yep.
Yeah. All right. We don't even have
I have a
to.
Crowley mask. Do you want to wear that for this one?
No, I don't know where it's been or what you've done in it.
You can use your imagination.
That's the scary part. I use my imagination with
you
this
might
dude.
want to do that.
I don't wear it on this head.
Chalk. Some slates. Put this away. There we go. Okay. All right. Let me just stand up here so they can see. Right? We don't have a camera operator. We should explain that's what's going on. That's why we have to move around like this. All right. Now, slates are what spiritualists used to use up until like the 1950s. Okay, and the reason why is because before kids had notebooks in schools, they would use slates.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they would write
Yeah.
their answers on, so you could erase it. You know, paper was expensive.
Yeah.
So that's why the spiritualists use slates. They also would claim to have voices from the dead come through in trumpets. The trumpets were just variations on the megaphones that they used for cheerleading. You know the old pictures with the cheerleaders, and there'd be like a handle on the trumpet because they didn't have any sound. There were no amplifiers back then, so they would use these trumpets. So in other words, and they would use bells like dinner bells, stuff that they would find around the house. And that's why I use slates. I know it's a long ass explanation, but that's why I use slates. Can you give me a piece of chalk, please? Okay. Now we're going to use two. Okay, and what they would do is they would take the slates. And they would say, we have two slates, so there's four sides. I numbered them. We have a 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay? And they would take the slates, and they would say, okay, what we're going to do, there's nothing on there. We have a piece of chalk, and we have the sides with the slates.
Yep.
And we're going to put the chalk between the slates, okay? No funny business, okay? It's going to... Now, what we're going to do is I just want you to go like that, and you, same thing right here. Okay? Ready? Now, hold it up so they can see in the camera, right? There's nothing touching the slates. I'm not doing anything to you guys, right?
Yep.
And what they would do is they would have two people from the audience or from the sitters in the seance hold onto the slate like this, and it would have the chalk between them. Okay? Just like you guys are doing right now. And they would say, oh, we're going to get a message from the dead. Okay, so we're going to get a message from the dead, and they're going to write it in between the slates while you two are holding them and nothing's touching it, there's nothing connecting, blah, 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 no electronics or anything. One of the most famous slate mediums, what they called, was a guy called Dr. Slade. Yeah, right?
Clever.
And he lived in
Slade,
Philly,
Slade.
and in the 1870s, he was exposed as a phony, but he made countless amounts of dollars doing this very scam, okay?
Yeah.
And again, I have newspaper articles about that guy. But anyway, so they would do this and they would say, okay, did you feel the spirits moving the chalk? And, you know, what they would do sometimes is they would just, you know, tap or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the sitters, since they were already conditioned to believe that something was going to happen, they were like, my God, yes. Did you feel something?
I did.
Did you feel something?
Yeah.
That was the ghostly hand of Uncle Ned that came down and he wrote whatever. Uncle Jeff. Uncle Jeff came down and
Uncle Jeff.
yeah, right. So
We have a ghost named Melvin.
There you go. Maybe it was Melvin. We didn't. I didn't do any funny business, right, guys?
Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. Okay. Now here's what we're gonna do. Now just let go, and we're gonna see if the spirits gave us a message. Oh, there's a little smear there, right? There's a smear. Oh, what does this say? Look.
What the fuck?
Look.
Get out of here.
Oh my God!
I just want to. Epstein didn't kill himself.
How cool is
How
that?
the hell did you do that?
Very cool.
What the?
So now,
Very
here's
cool.
the thing. Now imagine that you were expecting a message from your dead parent or somebody, your son or daughter.
Maybe
Your
that
parent.
came from Epstein.
And you're, you know, you
Yeah,
have money.
Jeff just reached out.
Yeah, exactly.
Uncle
right?
Jeff.
He knew. I'm gonna get the chalk back. So maybe the message says sell your house and give the money to the psychic.
Yeah.
Which happened, and a lot
I
of
would
these
listen
court
to-
cases. There's millions of dollars have been lost to scam artists like that.
I'll
The
bet.
centuries.
Especially back then.
Yeah.
One of the most famous lawyers in America was involved in a case in the 1890s, and I have the newspaper articles that follow every day the trial.
Yeah.
And a young Houdini sat in the courtroom to listen to it, and it inspired him to later on investigate this kind of thing. Because the most famous magicians of the day were called into the trial to bear expert witness on how scams like that can happen.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. Yeah.
Wasn't that awesome?
That was awesome, man. That's
Yeah,
I've seen stuff like that on TV before.
Right,
I've
but
never
see,
had that happen.
No camera tricks, folks, right?
Very cool.
That is really cool, dude.
You dig?
Very cool.
Alright, well, Jason, I don't know. What do you think?
Is that it? We're gonna
Is
do
that
another
it?
one sometime?
What's up?
We're gonna do another episode
Oh
sometime?
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
And how do we get in touch with you? How do they get in touch with you and subscribe to
well,
something?
yeah. Tell them how they
Well,
get in touch
mine
with
is,
you.
you look for me on YouTube. You just type in my stage name twice, Arioch, or, Magic Money. It's not a guy that looks like me. You can type in 10-year-old Stu.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll find me on stage with this guy in a video somewhere.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Police report somewhere, so.
Cool. Yeah, and I'll put your the QR code there up on the,
Okay,
the
cool.
graphics and stuff.
Definitely.
Okay, so I learned my lesson last time. I gotta say like and subscribe, and check us out next time. I don't know what we're doing yet, but
Not sure
we'll
yet.
figure it out.
And what's this podcast
Oh,
called
and
again?
yeah, collaborating
Collaborating
with
with
killers. Yeah, there you
Killers.
go. Yeah,
Yep.
great. Cool, man. It's been a pleasure. That was so awesome.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Very cool.
All right, thanks, man.
See you guys.
Appreciate it.
Cool. That was awesome, man.
That was fantastic.
All right. Well, how's it going, bud? Good. Good to see you.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of time to hang around, so you gotta sit down. We're gonna do something really cool.
He's gonna launch this through my skull.
Watch.
Just thought it'd be exciting.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh Jesus!
Stick this on. Your head back. There we go. Now, something really cool for the drummer, A little stick, right? Through his head.
Ow!
Yeah. Now watch this. This is the cool part.
Don't try this at home.
Just look in there. Look at that. Is that sick or is that sick?
Hey, man. What'd you do with my drummer?
All right, easy. It's coming back. Watch this. How you feel?
Hey!
All right.
What a trip.
How's your
My ears are right. Yep.
Pretty good?
Yeah.
Cool.
Hello. Yeah, it's
I'm
still
working.
good.
It's
Well,
there.
let's play a little Aerosmith, Love in an Elevator.